Was it or not, I can't tell. But once upon a time, in one distant land, there lived a padishah. He was poor and his country was poor too. Already the neighboring padishahs turned their eyes to his lands. They were waiting for the weather to become warmer and then to come to him with war. And the poor padishah thought for day and night how to save his country from the misery. There are many people giving advice, but there are too few men giving mind. And then a man of his surroundings suggested, "My padishah, you should issue an ukase to throw all the old men into the ravine. Then the eaters will remain few, and we shall be saved." "How can it be so?" explained the padishah. "They're my people too." "Oh, my padishah," the advisor whispered near the padishah's ear. "They give already no use. They don't sow and they don't reap. They only eat, drink, and sleep. Don't be sorry for them. When we throw them into the ravine, then the young people will have more time. They will not spend strength to take care of the old men." So, telling what for many times he managed to muddle up the padishah's mind. So, for 3 days and 3 nights, the padishah was thinking it over and issued the order all the old men should be thrown into the ravine. Then the padishah sent his heralds to all the village and gave them the order to inform everybody about the new ukase. The heralds rode to the village of Yesapsis, and there lived a little boy in that village, and his name was Todi, and he had a grandfather. Todi loved him very much. On that day, Todi and his friends were playing games at the village square. When Todi had heard the padishah ukase, he ran home and began to entreat his father. "Daddy, I entreat you, don't throw the grandpa into the ravine." "I can't, my sonny. The order came from the padishah himself. They say that the old men eat very much," the father said. "Father, I'll give my portion to the grandpa," Todi entreated with tears in his eyes. "My soul grieves hard from the grandpa." "My sonny, and my heart bleeds. But we can't do nothing. We must obey the padishah. If we don't obey, there will be evil around," his father said, and having a deep sigh, finished. "Sonny, bring me that big basket. I'll put the grandfather into the basket and take him to the ravine." Todi went and brought the basket. They put the old man into it. "Dad, take me with you," begged Todi. "Let's go, sonny," said his father, putting the basket on his shoulders, and they left home. After some walk they came to the deep ravine. Todi's father took off his load and threw the basket with the grandfather into the ravine. Todi saw how his grandpa in the basket was falling down and crying. He asked, "Daddy, why had you thrown the basket?" "Because we shall not need it," he answered. "No, we'll need it," said Todi. "When you grow old, what shall I take to bring you in and throw into the ravine?" Then the father thought hard. You are right." With great difficulty they pulled out of the grandfather's bag. Then they waited for the night to come, but nobody could see them, and came back home. They hid grandfather onto the bed, and they went on living. Some time passed. The affairs in the country did not become better. What was more, they became still worse. And the neighboring states, having learned what all the old men there had been thrown out, went with war to the poor country, because they knew that it was easy to conquer the greenhorns. But in ancient times there was a custom. Before starting the war, padishahs tried to make an agreement. Or they tried to pay off with gold from the conqueror, or they overpowered him by a clever word. And the time it happened so. The Padishah who had come with war sent a messenger to our Padishah. That messenger comes to the Padishah and says, "My Padishah gives you three problems, and you must answer them till the point Z." And he enumerates the problems. The first problem is, there are two horses. How to guess which of them is mother and which is daughter? The second problem is, there is a stick. Point there is its head, and there is its feet. And the third problem is, till the point Z, you must weave for us 15 arshins of the rope of descent. If you don't solve the problems, we shall come, defeat you, and bore everything. What to do? Is there a rope of descent? But it is necessary to answer the given problems. And again the Padishah sent his heralds to all the villages, but now not with the order, but with the request, who can solve these problems and will be able to weave the rope of descent, I will give that man and carts full of gold. Again the heralds rode to the village of Yesapsis and tell the people about the Padishah request. And Toddy was at the square. He was playing hide and seek. Having heard the herald's words, he ran home. And that time his father was cleaning up in the cattle shed. Toddy rushes into the shed and cries, "Dad, the old cart of gold to the man who will be able to weave the rope of the sand." "Stop, Sonny, take breath. Tell it in a calm voice," says his father. Having taken breath, Toddy told everything what he had heard from the heralds. Then they go out of the shed and walk to the grandfather, narrate about everything to the grandfather. And he says, "We will think tomorrow, and now make a bed for me on the stove. I'll lie there, maybe I'll think of something till the morning." And they did so. The grandfather lay down on the stove and snored till the morning. He did so because he had the answer ready at once, but he wanted to show to the son and Toddy what the old man thought hard before doing something, not so as the young men do. The morning came. The grandfather invites the son and gives him the advice. "Yoke oxen to the cart, my son. Go to the Padishah and tell him that the problems are solved in this way. Let them put some hay before the horses. Mother will push the hay to the daughter. Let them throw the stick into the river. With that edge it will swim forward. There is the head. Tell him, my Padishah, ask the enemy to lend us an inch of the rope of descent, and following that example, we shall weave for them the rope of descent with a length of 15 arshins." The grandfather's son walks and yokes oxen to the cart and goes to the Padishah, and Toddy, having taken the backside of the cart, joined him, and so they reached the Padishah. They told everything. The Padishah immediately sent the messengers to the enemy to tell the answer of the problems and ask the example of the rope of descent. Having galloped at full speed, the messengers came back and stood before the Padishah. "Have you taken the example for the enemy?" asked the Padishah. "No, we haven't taken, master. We told the answer of the problems. When we had said about the request of lending an inch of the rope of descent for the example, the enemy exclaimed, 'Stop! This can't come to the young man's mind. It's clear what you didn't throw all the old men into the ravine. I don't want to wage war against you. I take my army back, and tell your Padishah not to make evil to the old man anymore," finished the messengers. Then the Padishah called Toddy's father, and Toddy joined him too. "Why didn't you fulfill my order?" asked the Padishah. With his head down, Toddy's father told how the matter had been. The Padishah was listening without interrupting him. Then he calls Toddy to himself and says, "You have a very clever and cunning grandfather. He gave me useful advice and sent you here with the cart not without use." "Load the cart with gold," gave order the Padishah, "and write the new ukase. All the old men in our country must always have the honor and respect." While the cart was loaded, the Padishah treated Toddy and his father with many wines and sherbet. They ate and drank much. "And they wanted to treat me with sherbet, but when they were turning, all the wine bags broke, and all the sherbet ran out to the F, and a river was formed out of sherbet, and that river is running there today."